What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another music video makeup Monday. I am your host here today, Miss Nikki. We're back. After a few weeks of taking off with the holidays and all that stuff, we are back. Someone is using my backdrop stand, so I attempted to put this green square in the back to make it look kind of interesting. I don't know if I like it just yet, but you know, it is what it is. Today we're going to be recreating Adele's look from Someone Like You. It's kind of a rendition of it since the video is actually in black and white, so I'm going to make do. And today we're actually going to talk about her first album, her second album, and that's it. I know she just released 30. I'm excited for it. It is... I really want to talk about it, but Adele has a lot going on and I'm very passionate about Adele. So we're going to break this up into two different videos. Today we're going to be doing, like I said, the first album and the second album, and then the next video, which will come out next week, we'll do the third and the fourth album along with a little review. So if you're interested in makeup, if you're interested in music videos and artists and even movies, please hit that subscribe button. I'm here for you most Mondays and some Fridays as well. So yeah, I have a good time. I really enjoy this and I really loved how October was. It was so much fun for me creating those movie makeup looks that I'm just, we have some fun ones coming and I'm excited. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and get started and let's talk about Miss Adele. So Miss Adele. Adele was born Adele Laurie Blue Adkins, which I thought was such a cute name. She was born in London, in England, in the Tottenham district. I don't know how to say it. Her mother was English and her father was Welsh. It was said that her mother was the primary person who raised her when she was young, and that her father had left when she was around 2 years old. Now, I've been listening to a lot of interviews from her nowadays, and it seems as though her father did struggle with a lot of alcoholism, so I'm assuming that that had something to kind of do with the father not being around as much. It was said that at the age of around 4 was when Adele really started to pick up music and just enjoy singing and being, you know, the singer of the household. When she was 9 years old, her and her mother moved to Brighton, and then in 1999 they moved back to London. Now, I did not bring my glue to the studio, so this wig is looking crazy right now, so just, you know, again, I'm not a hairstylist. I am a makeup artist, so I'm going to put the bangs down at the end of this look, but for now, just don't judge me too hard, you know what I'm saying? In her youth, she went to this park called Brockwell Park, and she would kind of sit there and play guitar with her friends and sing to them, things of that sort. So she had a lot of pretty solid memories when it came to that specific park. In an interview that she did, she kind of talked about how monumental this particular park really was for her. And she said that, you know, basically whenever she gets the opportunity to pass it by, she kind of bursts into tears just because of how important this park was to her and her, you know, her musicality. So fast forward, and she actually ended up graduating from the Brit School of Performing Arts, and she had 2 classmates that became pretty big. One of her classmates was Jessie J, and the other classmate was Leona Lewis. If you don't know who Leona Lewis is, it's the girl who sang Bleeding Love, which was such a banger. I remember like having a crush on somebody in junior high, and I remember like just dramatically singing this song as a kid, being like, how would you say? It was pretty lame if you ask me, but you know, it is what it is. After Adele graduated, she had written, you know, a few songs kind of in class, and you know, didn't think much of it. She had given those demo songs to a friend of hers, and the friend actually ended up posting them on MySpace. And they started doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, people were messing with it. Oh my god, I put too much of what in the world. Anyway, she put it on MySpace, and on MySpace it actually ended up doing pretty well. And people were starting to notice Adele and be like, oh my god, like these songs are freaking dope. So dope that they actually got the attention of Richard Russell, who was actually one of the lead kind of music label executives at XL Recordings. At the time, she really doubted that this was even like a real sort of thing because at the time, the only really record label that she was aware of was Virgin Records, which I thought was kind of, it was cute, you know? She was young at the time, so I get it. And Virgin was like super huge in the UK, so I mean, it was, I read Richard Branson's book like years ago and it was so good. So I get her. I get why she would think that, but no, this was very real, Adele. She ended up getting a meeting with him, and for the meeting, she kind of didn't trust it. Like I said, it was a very real thing. So she ended up bringing a friend with her, and the friend was like, oh shit, like this is real, this is super real. Upon arrival, basically things kind of seemed to fall in place. They liked Adele a lot, and they ended up leading her into the direction of being managed by a guy by the name of Jonathan Dickens. She started kind of doing her thing when it comes to music and working with these executives, and one of her first projects where she provided vocals was for a guy by the name of Jack Penate for a song called My Yvonne. And during that session, she met a guy by the name of Jim Abyss, and Jim ended up being kind of the lead producer for both of her next albums that came. So that was her first introduction to him, and honestly, like, thank God I met, because oh my God. In June of 2007 was her very first TV debut. She actually sang the song Daydreamer on a Brit TV show called Later with Jules Holland. I watched this performance and I think she's so adorable. She's so freaking cute. You know, you can tell like the era and stuff, like just her outfit choice and just the way that she's sitting in the chair and just playing her little guitar. Like, it was such a vibe, and it was so cute to just see, I don't know, just to see her perform for the first time. Like, I saw her recent special that she did with Oprah, and I mean, like, the presence that she has on stage, just being like, oh, this, that, the other, whatever. Like, it's cool to see where it started and where it's at now. I'm just like, oh. In 2008, she became the first winner of the Brit Awards Critics' Choice, and basically people were already at that point starting to predict that she would be probably the one everyone needs to be looking out for, and rightfully so, because she started to own in the next few years, like own. She ended up releasing her second single, Daydreamer being first. Her second single was Chasing Pavements on January 14th, 2008. And it went and did pretty well. It reached #2 on the UK charts and stayed there for 4 weeks. If you haven't seen this music video is honestly quite beautiful. It's a really beautiful video. It reminds me of, oh my gosh, there's a Coldplay video, and I think it's called Strawberry something, and it like goes, everything is in reverse. The whole video is like reversed, and it just kind of takes you, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a car accident that happened, and then just like the couples just dancing on the pavement together, and just, it's just like, I want to cry just thinking about it. It was so beautiful. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, I totally suggest seeing the Chasing Pavements video, because it is just, it's a sweet video. Anyways, she dropped that in 2008, and yeah, like I said, it went on, and it stayed on the charts for quite a period. Times Encyclopedia of Modern Music ended up saying that this album, 19, was essential. It released about 2 weeks after Chasing Pavements came out, and just people were all freaking over it. In 2008, she was also nominated for the Mercury Prize Award for 19. She also won the Urban Music Award of Best Jazz Act and the Music of Black Origin nomination in the category of Best UK Female. And in 2008, she ended up signing a deal with Columbia Records, which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she's still with Columbia. She was, at that time, she was set to actually go out and do a North American tour, but chose to not go on this North American tour because she had a new boyfriend. Can you imagine? She had a new boyfriend and she was like, I gotta spend time with him. I can't stand being away from him, you know, which I get, you know, when you're young, that's how it goes. You're like, I want a career and this is gonna be great, but like, I love him. I find it silly, but it's like, I get it. I get it. She had said in an interview kind of shortly thereafter about like how she really couldn't believe that she did that at the time. She said that she too was actually drinking a lot in that period, and so for her, being away from him was such an unbearable like idea, and so she was like, yeah, no, I'm not about to leave this dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta stick with him. But nonetheless, even though the tour didn't happen, she did end up eventually making her US debut in October of 2008. She actually performed on Saturday Night Live. And on Saturday Night Live, they actually had the host of the night was Sarah Palin, who was running for president at the time, or vice president, I'm sorry, at the time. And it said that that specific episode, like, had the most views in a long time. It was one of the like highest performing ones. She performed Cold Shoulder and Chasing Pavements while on SNL. It gave SNL basically like great reviews. Its ratings went up for the first time in 14 years with this particular episode and garnered about 17 million views, which, looking at the way politics have been in this country, I understand. You know, you bring anybody who's political at this point and like people will be all over them. So I get it. But I'm sure having Adele on there also was just like, I mean, I can't imagine, like that's honestly a perfect place for a artist to be, is like with a politician or someone running for it, because everybody who's with that politician obviously is watching because they want to see how that politician like cracks jokes and stuff. And then on the flip side, people who don't like the politician might be watching. And then in the meantime, you've got a new artist who is in the mix of that and now getting the most amazing opportunity to just do their thing and get the worldwide exposure. 17 million eyes, good for freaking her. Following day after this aired, Chasing Pavements and whole album 19 itself actually topped the iTunes charts at number 5. So like I said, this was like a perfect opportunity for her to do her thing, which I just find just awesome. You know, it's a great opportunity. And as a result of this performance, the album actually ended up going up to number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. So all in all, like she rocked it. She really freaking rocked it. And I don't know, things like that make me so happy to see. I put on a brown color that I thought would work, and then it ended up kind of coming out more on the purpley side. So I'm doing my best to kind of save it, but we'll see. At the 51st annual Grammys, she actually ended up winning the award for Best New Artist and also got Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for Chasing Pavements, which was also nominated as Record of the Year and Song of the Year, but she did not win. Her second studio album, 21, was released on January 24th, 2011 in the UK and the 22nd of February in the United States. And the album was inspired by her breakup. Is it the same boyfriend that she canceled the tour over? I'm not too sure, but it was inspired by this breakup. By a breakup. A very emotional performance that she actually did for Someone Like You at the 31st annual Brit Awards actually sent the song like skyrocketing. And then the other single that she had off of the album was actually Rolling in the Deep. So Someone Like You, Rolling in the Deep, we know how they did. Both of those songs topped the charts in multiple markets and broke numerous sales performances. Like they were like massive successes. 21 went on to sell 3.4 million copies. in the UK and ended up becoming the biggest selling album of the 21st century, overtaking Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. Adele actually ended up becoming the first artist to ever sell 3 million albums in the UK in one calendar year. Her song Set Fire to the Rain became her third song to take the #1 spot. She actually ended up becoming the very first artist to not only hold the spot of #1 album for that year, but also to concurrently have 3 #1 singles. So she was dominating with this album. She was at the time set to also embark on a tour. But for this tour, she actually had to postpone it, I believe, about 2 times because she ended up having to get vocal surgery. She had strained her cords and they needed to do surgery. She took a light vocal rest with that news, and then in 2012 did return to the limelight. 2012 returned to the Grammys, where she rocked it. She ended up winning all 6 categories that she was nominated for. She won Album of the Year, she won Record of the Year, and Song of the Year, making her the 2nd female in history after Beyonce to win that many at the Grammys. So in 2012, Adele did confirm that she was recording the theme song for Skyfall, the new James Bond movie, and she actually had said a few times in different interviews that this was probably one of her biggest felt achievements. She was super duper proud to be able to have the opportunity to make it. It rose on the charts and got a total of about 92,000 copies sold in the first day and about 261 million copies in its first 3 days. There is definitely a lot more that we could say about this album, and definitely a lot more that we can say about each individual song, from its writing process to everything in between. For the most part, this is a general overview of Adele, where she was born, how she went about in her music career, how she was discovered, how people found out about her, a lot of firsts and things of that sort. But if you guys are interested in specific music video looks, you are interested in specific musical song details, let me know which songs you want to hear about down below, and I would be more than happy to kind of do a deep dive on those as well. But for the meantime, this is my inspired look from the Someone Like You music video. I took a few different inspos from that era and kind of composited a look that honestly I feel like fits her vibe a lot. Minus the hair. The hair, it wasn't as curly in this time frame, but again, you use it to your discretion. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys had fun. And if you're interested in part 2, please make sure to subscribe so that you can get the scoop on the last 2 albums. Honestly, they're 2 of my favorites as well. So I'm just excited to kind of talk about those a little bit more in depth. But anyways, for the meantime, have a good rest of y'all's week, and I will see you guys on Monday. See ya!